this is Waldorf.
Stellar.
And now we're going to do our part 2 of Rules Explained in Figures.
For Ninth Age Fantasy Battles.
This is a fantastic document that the rules team has put together, explaining the rules in figures, so they're easier to see. And there's some stuff in there that you're not really aware of. If you haven't seen this documented already, please pull it up and look at it. It's very helpful. Well, we did a video on the first 5, and now they've released 3 more diagrams.
Right.
So we thought we'd just cover those real quick, if we can do anything quick. So the first one is charging a fleeing unit. How do you perform a charge against a fleeing unit? So you can see here where...
So each one of these, they have the rule up top, then they give you some diagrams, and they explain what's going on.
And they explain what's going on. I'm not going to read it word for word for down here, just kind of show you what we see in here. The green unit flees from the blue, ends up out here. The way most people play this, because they're not really aware of it, haven't read the full detail of this rule, is they'll just pivot and move in and contact it like they show in number 2 here.
Right, maximizing and doing all this stuff as though it's a combat unit.
But the rule is all they have to do is wheel. They can wheel once up to 90 degrees, this unit, and all it has to do is come in contact with the green unit. So that allows it to wheel here early and clip the corner here, coming in contacting. And if you notice, you can move into contact with any facing of the charged unit. So in this case, he's going to go all the way out past the unit, wheel 90 degrees, and clip the corner of it here.
Right.
All legal moves.
And then once he's done that, he can take a discipline check and pivot again.
Correct. Pivot any way you want. This allows a lot of flexibility on where you end up.
Yes.
Maybe not a lot, but a lot of more flexibility than some people think you have.
Right, right.
It's nice to use. I used this in a game the other day. My opponent said, "You sure you can do that?" So anyway,
and you pulled up this document.
I told him it was in this document. He would like to look
And pointed at him and chided. In your day,
luckily I
in
have.
My day, people read things. Did you say to him?
No, because this
we
one,
had paper.
I think this was one of the guys that's almost as old as me. It's not as old as me. But anyway, so that's the one thing that's actually, it's kind of bad. I've got a reputation for knowing the rules fairly well.
Right.
So I tend to say things confidently and move on.
That's how it works.
And they believe me. And then I'll go back to them later and say, I'm sorry, I apologize, I was wrong.
So after all these years, I have taught you something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're not sure, say it confidently and they'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
Next step was how do you maximize base contact when charging a unit that is already engaged. So in this case, the orange unit down here wants to charge the blue unit.
And the green unit.
And the blue is already engaged with green.
Right.
So based on that, the rules for is the priority is first to maximize the units in combat. Second, then the fourth priority apparently is to maximize the number of models on both sides in base contact with at least one enemy.
Right.
Which, as you can see in diagram A2, allows this orange unit to not contact all 5 of the blue.
Because the green has already contacted everybody.
Exactly.
So he only has to maximize his own
units.
Models.
And then, of course, back here in B1, where the orange unit's charging now, it has the option. It has many different options.
It can basically line up anywhere as long as it touches something.
Correct.
Because it's a single base unit, so it has to touch one guy because everyone else is in contact.
Yep. He could have wheeled and clipped the corner over here. He could have clipped the corner over here. You know, if there was 2, he could have clipped each corner.
Yep.
Again, the total units in combat is all that matters. So, allows a little bit of more flexibility for your overruns. So pay attention to this. He can help out a little bit. And that brings us to the third and rather complex diagram.
Yeah.
Pursuits.
It's not that complex. You have to take it one at a time.
It's the.
Although I guess we have to give him some feedback. He should use letters on one side and I think numbers on the other.
Oh, yeah, to kind of make it differentiate a little bit more.
Right.
It's a good point. Would help a little bit. So anyway, so what we have here is A charging this unit D, and we have unit C charging F. And in this case, Unit B is already in contact with E from, we'll call it a prior round, I guess.
Yep.
So this is what it ends up. Everyone makes their
Charges, and he's lined up, and he's gone catty corner a bit on C versus F, but he's still maximized.
Correct.
Because all the models are in contact, even though they're not perfectly lined up.
Yep. So, because all he has to do is, yeah, you're right. All he has to do is contact four of them.
C and F, I'm talking about.
Oh, C and F, correct. Yeah. And A and D is the same thing. He has to hit 4 of them. Which 4 is his choice?
Correct.
But anyway, so he's going to fight this fight first, the A and D. And Unit A wins, overruns, and slaps into the side of E.
Right.
Since this combat has not been fought already, now they're going to fight this combat. He chooses to fight this combat next. In this instance, he breaks or destroys Unit E, and he elects... Oh, in this case, he had to have broken them and they fled.
Right.
He broke them, they fled, and he's...
If he destroyed them, he had to go straight.
Correct.
So, yeah.
So he has the choice of which way to force them to flee, and he elects to make them flee towards the top.
Directly away from B.
Correct. So A pivots about and slams into F.
And manages to hit F.
And fight a third round of combat.
Yes, because now C fights F.
And A joins in.
And A is helped out.
Now, the interesting thing to know, to be aware of here is this is the 45-degree arc of this Unit F. After A pivots, A is going to be in the flank of F. But the facing is measured from the time before the pivot. So A's front facing is in the front facing of F.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, after it pivots, even though after it does this pivot, it's going to be wholly in the flank, it still has to hit F in the front.
Right.
Which is a little
different,
quirky, but it's just something you have to be aware of.
Yep, just how they wrote it.
All right. But, and of course, this gives you the whole breakdown of how the multiple combats work and how you can fight multiple combats. And it even tells you here, note that A was located in F's front, facing before pursuing. It should be, anyway, those F front facing. It just needs to make it, maybe could be a little clearer here, because the front facing of A is in the front facing of F.
Right.
Even though the unit is technically, by any other standards, would be considered as flank.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, but that's it. So, it's a nice little thing, because I see people asking all the time, can you pursue and overrun into multiple combats and fight multiple times? That's kind of a hangover from a different game, from the predecessor game where you could only do that once.
Yeah, I see occasionally people don't realize that they can even fight a second combat. So
correct. Now the other interesting thing, which we'll cover at some future date.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. Anyway, so that's it. So again, they've done a great job continuing with this.
Yep.
3 more down, and if I'm not mistaken, did he announce anything? Coming up, movement of light troops, determining cover, random movement, ignoring unit spacing, and maximizing base contact with ground bases.
Yep.
So a couple more things they plan on doing soon. This one, very important, maximizing round bases. Still see people not doing this correctly.
Right.
But anyway.
Well, it's a little confusing when you have single base models versus multiple base units.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's changed in the instance where it's a multi-base unit.
Right.
And the single model units are pretty much exactly like they used to be.
Exactly.
Anyway.
So anyway, yes.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, another one. It's on the main dashboard and
downloads page where everything else
and
is.
It's on a downloads page, I think, below all of the rule books, all the Army books.
It is. There's an errata down there and some other game aids or whatever they call them.
Scroll down.
Scroll down and you'll find it.
Right.
I would show you now, but I'm lazy. I'm not going to be able to find it.
There you go.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Till next time.